an event took place. So I'll speak of in a moment. All of this material was studied as a part of hadith. Hadith literature. This is very studied. Akhir al-Zaman as part of hadith. But to go to the Quran, and then from the Quran to go to the hadith, and to combine them and integrate them together and then apply that to history, and to politics, and to economics, and to monetary economics, which is what we've been doing, was not possible until an event took place. Let me share with you that event, and then we can have a nice cup of coffee. When Pharaoh was drowning underneath the water, he realized that he was not God. And the Quran tells us that underneath the water, he declared his faith in the God of Moses. The Lord God then responded and said, Al-an, now Pharaoh, وَقَدْ عَصَيْتَ قَبْلُ. And before this you were in rejection, arrogant rejection. وَكُنْتَ مِنَ الْمُفْسِدِينَ, and you are corrupting the land, destroying the people. فَالْيَوْمَ نُنَجِّيكَ بِبَدَنِكَ. This day we have ordained, divinely ordained, the preservation of your physical body. فَالْيَوْمَ نُنَجِّيكَ بِبَدَنِكَ. The preservation of your physical body. لِتَكُونَ لِمَنْ خَلْفَكَ آيَةً. So that this physical body of yours, when in time to come it is discovered, when it resurfaces in the historical process, that would be a sign. A sign. That's why we are preserving the body. So that when that body is discovered, it will be a sign for people to come after you. لِتَكُونَ لِمَنْ خَلْفَكَ آيَةً. What is the sign? Answer: when the body is Pharaoh is discovered, as it was in the same time when the Zionist movement was established, about the same time the two things happened, that history will now repeat itself, and that a people who lived the way Pharaoh lived, with arrogance, godlessness, oppressing the people, will die the way he died. Yes. That they will be destroyed by divine intervention. At that time it was strike the water with your rod, Moses. But this time around it will be that the Son of the Virgin Mary will come down with his hands resting on the wings of two angels. And when he comes down, you're going to suffer the same fate that Pharaoh and his army suffered. The body of Pharaoh was discovered in 1897, 98, somewhere around there. And from that moment now, events are unfolding in the historical process, political and economic and monetary and so on, which allows us to now understand the Quran and understand the Hadith. And so Islamic eschatology could not have emerged as an independent branch of knowledge before now.
Questions that he gives over. So this is the gentleman.
Sheikh Imran, Nazar. You are inspiring great ones, para. Very, I'm coming from the taxi and back to the don't believe me anything in what What's your name? Imran. Associated with Gibran, Ali Gibran. That is very good. The second, you are talking about Orthodox Christian and Christian. So may I say, you also talk about Orthodox Muslim and Muslim. So the parallel is obvious. Quran and Bible is not religious documents. It's history of humanity. If we are clever to notice. So, what we are talking about now, we are talking about typical, huge manipulation. What does it mean, jihad? In your opinion, in your definition, and jihad is the definition of some working guy who is crazy of everything. Most of themselves.
Okay, so that is the question.
The question is like this. Orthodox Muslims and Muslims like Orthodox Christians and Christians.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a parallel between what has happened in Christianity and what is happening in Islam? The attack on Christianity came in two stages. In the first stage, there is a breakup, with one part going west and the other part remaining here. That's the first stage. The second stage came when that part which went west was attacked to destroy the spiritual heart of the religion, so that what remained was a textbook Christianity, better known as Protestant Christianity. When you destroy the spiritual heart of religion, then what remains will be people who have eyes and yet cannot see, internally blind. The prophet said about the Antichrist that he sees with only one eye. He is blind in the other eye. It looks like a bulging grape, but your Lord is not one eye. For some, they will be waiting for a man to stand up in Jerusalem to say, I am the Messiah, and he would not be the son of Mary, and he would be Dajjal, but they would say, no, this cannot be Dajjal because he has two eyes, because they have missed the boat, religious symbolism. When you lose the spiritual heart of religion, you are no longer capable of penetrating religious symbolism. When the prophet said that Dajjal sees with his left eye and he is blind in the right eye, what he meant by that was that Dajjal has external sight and that he is internally blind. And that's what happened to Western Christianity, Protestant Christianity. And so you find so many of them now accepting that a man can marry another man and get a marriage certificate. And when we stand up against it, they tell us that we have a disease. We are suffering from a disease called homophobia. The same thing is happening in Islam. That in Islam you had the same attack. And from the heart of Islam has now emerged a Protestant Islam, or textbook religion, incapable of penetrating to the reality of things. And so every tune that Dajjal plays on his drums, they dance to it. Because they have eyes and yet cannot see. That's the tragedy of today. But we hope and we pray that there will be in Orthodox Christianity and in Islam those who will be able to see with the internal eye and to penetrate the reality of the world today, to anticipate what is coming tomorrow, and to join hands in a common struggle against the oppressor.
Dva pitanja, samo kratko, molim.
My question is, what are the obstacles, struggles that religious people have to face in the 21st century? And the follow-up question is, does the modern system of education tries, or better yet, will it prevail to explain to students the concept of religion and other beliefs that religion has to offer? And
what are the obstacles that the religious people face in the 20th century? The major obstacle is the process of secularization, which hinders and obstructs your effort to return to religious sources for knowledge. Monetary economics, and Imran is bringing the Quran into the classroom of monetary economics. Is he mad or is he crazy? Huh? That's the obstacle. But that's what I did. I took the Quran, of course, in my heart. I took it into the classroom of monetary economics and into the classroom of politics and diplomacy and of history of international relations. I took the Quran with me and I was able to understand. So if you can remove the obstacles and return to your roots. And one of the reasons why I'm here in Serbia is to take a look at your hearts. You know. I want to see your hearts. I want to see where your hearts are turned to. Because there's a looming confrontation in the world now between NATO and Russia. And Russia is returning to Orthodox Christianity. Russia is returning to her spiritual roots. Russia has a spiritual heart, and their heart is barbarian and godless. So is your heart lusting for Paris and Washington and London and Bonn and the European Union? Or is your heart turned in the direction of the one whose foundation is spiritual and who is standing up to the oppressor? In addition to looking at your hearts, I want to look at your hands as well. Yes, I'm watching you. In Orthodox Christianity, as in Hinduism, as in Buddhism, as in Islam, when men and women greeted each other, you would courtesy offer a smile. Huh? So from where came shaking of hands? And kissing on this cheek and kissing on that cheek? When will you wash yourself off? Wash yourself off and stop imitating blindlessly a godless and decadent civilization and return to your Christian roots. If I have to come to make you a better Christian, I will do it.
Hello, I have a question. I wonder, what's the life for a living, and are we just abides in this chess game, or we're just playing bridge? I want to know your opinion on that.
What is the right religion? Answer. Answer. Religion is founded on truth. Truth has zero tolerance for oppression. So look to see, where are they in the world today who are standing up against the oppressor, like Hugo Chavez? And you'll find amongst them true religion. Religion not only has zero tolerance for oppression, but religion as truth must be able to explain reality, explain history, and anticipate tomorrow. If you have the truth, with that truth you can connect the dots of history. You can read history as it ought to be written, not as they wrote it with the Ottoman Empire. If you have the truth, you will understand the reality of the world today. And if you have the truth, you'll be able to anticipate tomorrow. And that's why you and I are coming together.
The young gentleman over there.
Thank you. First, I would like to praise you for your kind words and your courage to speak on this topic. Secondly, I would like to thank everybody else that's here and that listened to your speech. One thing I would like to ask you is you present night and day as two parts that complement each other, but I fail to see that you present good and evil as the same two parts that complement each other. And I would like you to speak on that topic and give me an answer. And also, I would like to ask you if you recognize that not America and Britain, like a country, is the enemy here. I would like you to acknowledge that only the people who are leading those countries are the antichrists, or as you would say in your language, and not the fair and kind people of those countries who will also condemn their governments. Thank you.
Yes, I think that this comment is very important that he's made. And of course I agree with the views that he expressed. I lived in the United States for 12 years. And there were 12 wonderful years. Oh yes. And I learned a lot from living in the United States. And there were many people who were very kind to me, and very hospitable to me. And so I'm not going to be a fool and condemn the whole of the United States of America. No. Why do you think Hugo Chavez was sending oil to the people, the poor in the United States? He was sending oil to them. Yeah. So too with Britain, so too with France. In fact, I have to tell you, I have more fans in France listening to me than I have in Trinidad. I said that the night and the day complement each other. They're like two halves which cannot exist independent of each other. The night and the day must come together, which of course is a bell for those of you who are not yet married. The night and the day must come together to form a whole. And then you'll see the beauty of what the Lord created. So they are complementary to each other. And you don't put an equal sign between them. No. What the Antichrist has done is to attempt to take the night and transform her into day. Okay? And our Prophet has spoken about something more. He said not only will women dress like men, and they're already doing that now. I've seen them with jackets and ties. And trousers. Jackets and ties and trousers. But he said that men will dress like women. Men will dress like women, indicating a reversal of roles with which history will end. He said that women will be dressed and yet naked, indicating a sexual revolution which will end up with the destruction of the family. You don't have the family, you're going to have chaos. You don't have the family, you're going to have violence in your society. Your society will collapse if you don't have the family. And when you have women dressed and yet naked, and a sexual revolution around you, that's the end of the family. About good and evil, now that's a tougher subject philosophically. The Quran refers to evil as conduct, in the context of conduct. It is more difficult for us to speak about evil metaphysically, ontologically. It is easier to speak about evil in the context of moral philosophy. That you are given the choice as human beings to choose to either go the right way, the way of virtue, or to go the way of sin, of evil. That is a choice which is given to us. Whether or not evil exists metaphysically as an entity on itself is not a subject I think I want to take up in this session. But the Quran does speak about the creation of evil, and let me just mention it and then we'll stop. Close to the end of the Quran, we are told, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord God of the dawn from the evil which He has created. Evil which He has created. We cannot locate evil in animals. We cannot locate evil in trees and plants. No. We cannot locate evil in angels, because angels cannot disobey. So where then can we locate evil? In creation, only in human beings and in jinn. But no human being was created evil. None. And no jinn was created evil. None. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam, says the Quran. We have honored the progeny of Adam. Well then, if no human being was created evil, no jinn was created evil, no angel was created evil, nothing in the plant world or the animal world was created evil, nothing in the material universe was created evil, well then where is the evil? مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. My answer, my opinion, and the rule is when Imran gives his opinion, never accept it until you're convinced that it is correct. Is that the Quran is referring to Dajjal, created as an evil being. And so when Jesus kills him, he'll pass into non-existence. And so it's nonsense to say that Dajjal will also have a resurrection, and he'll be subject to judgment, and he'll be sent to heaven or to hell. No. When Jesus kills him, he will enter into non-existence. That's my opinion.
say that also they take care of their society.
I'm not hearing you, I'm an old man.
About Western countries like that, they have prejudice. But I see like every night moment they build new mosques and they take care of Muslims and they don't have any problem. Better than the Arabic countries. Okay, about their policy, orientation here, they are absolutely wrong, but they are fine.
The answer,
They are all right.
the answer is that
I'm okay. Because this time we should,
we're running short of time, that's why I understand you already. He is uncomfortable with my critical comments on Western civilization, while I am not critically commenting on the state of the Muslim world, which is just as bad and so on, but I don't have 5 hours. Okay? I don't have 5 hours. No. Your book and my book says that when a people turn to homosexuality and they would not listen to the Prophet of God, he sent angels to destroy them. And when they were destroyed, Sodom and Gomorrah, he destroyed them in such a way as to leave a message for the rest of history. So they've sunk down to the lowest part of the earth. The message is that if you return to homosexuality, I will return to my punishment. So if I am living in a country in which the law permits a man to marry another man and get a marriage certificate, it's time for me to pack my suitcase and go. I don't care that the trains are running punctually. I don't care that the streets are clean while in front of the University of Belgrade there are 5 million cigarette butts. I don't care that the cities of the world of Islam are also rotting. I say that from the time you make the law for a man to marry another man and get a marriage certificate, it is as certain as the sun rises from the east that the Lord God will destroy that society. Yeah.